fair.
There we go. We're going to start off with the gold laner. It's Savero.
Savero, the one to fill in CW's shoes. He was able to perform in a high mechanic game.
The shoe filler. We'll see how he performs, man. But right now, the crazy man himself.
The man in the mid lane, Mr. Gila himself. It's Sans.
Gila Sans has been quite average for this week, or season rather, but we hope that he improves even more.
Hey, in the XP, don't you forget the newcomer. It's Ryota.
Ryota with a great debut when he first showed up. And of course, he needs no introduction right here.
He does, though. He really does. Every time you see him, it's the Sky King, Kyrie.
The jungler that has all the capabilities. And now, who is it?
That's the guy who asked the question, where's the spicy boy? Where's the miracle boy? It's Keyboy.
Onyx S5 lining up on the MPL arena. They are ready for this match. And they will come full guns blazing.
But the audience, the fans definitely have their bags. But now, up against them today, the all-new revamped EVOs.
EVOs? What?
Wait.
What?
Natco XP? Oh my god, he's back to his name.
Roberts, way low key, and Erlan. We thought it was going to be Jabran. We thought it was going to be someone else, but it's Natco on XP.
In the gold lane, France came in, but it is Erlan's time to prove those doubters wrong. Welcome him on stage as Erlan.
Erlan coming back in, trying to prove the haters wrong, but comes in the spicy man.
Hey, you can see him right here, ready to come on stage. It's Sway Low.
Hey.
Look at the moves.
Ready and warmed up to hit those three-pointers and the slam dunk, but look who's here.
All hail the king, all hail the lord, King Nat Goat.
What is a role to a lord? But now comes in one of the bigger names right now in the team.
One of the duo, the Prot duo is the baby alien, that's Albert.
Of course, baby alien ready to show who's the king in the jungle, but hey, XBDR by the way.
That's my boy, that's El Momento, Henky, Mr. K in Rome.
Ready to complete the Prot duo, and that is this lineup. They used to be known as the Gras, the solid lineup, but now with a change here, what does it spell? It spells Kasan?
Kasan?
Impactful
Snake.
lineup? Or you can switch it around and say it's the snake lineup. So watch out. As now our Marshal brings in the brains behind the entire operation.
Of course, no longer alone. Adi finally has some company where Greed was recently promoted into the main team. Of course, it is going to be Coach Adi and Greed, as well as Avila. Which coach? Caleb.
Yeah, phenomenal coaching staff here for EVOs. Again, able to make it to top 3 right before the 3-week break, but then after that, we saw a dip. Though I will say, I don't think it's really a coach or draft problem. It's more so a clutch problem. They haven't been clutch. Some of their players, namely one dude who's been probably the most clutch player in the first few weeks. Erlan, remember the steal against BTR on the Granger? We didn't get to see that level of clutchness from Erlan, and I hope that comes back here.
I do wonder, I mean, do people think he just lost it? He lost focus?
That's my boy.
Or could it be the case that he's been doing so well, he's been so crucial for his team, that now he almost feels like he must make those plays, even when it's not really quite necessary? That's a question a lot of people have been asking, right? Why is he forcing a lot of these moments when he plays smart? We've seen what this man can do.
The missteps, bad decisions as well made by Erlan. Of course, last week. We hope it's all mended for this week, because this is where it gets real for EVOS if they want to cement themselves in the top 2 position. But for Onyx, they want it as bad as EVOS does. I mean, they're down in the dump 7th in the standing, so they want to be up there. But of course, it is Mr. Bombastic.
Hey, man, these are some, I don't know. I don't want to talk about these stats, man. Mr. Bombastic.
They're doing him dirty.
Yeah, they are.
He's Mr. Fantastic. He has to flip a coin.
This is season 14. And yeah, season 14 EVOs, to remind you guys back at home, they didn't even make it to playoffs. So this is a bad stat to take for Mr. Bombastic. But he has been Mr. Fantastic in the past. He's also ex-BTR, by the way.
And Real Madrid fan, by the way.
Oh my, that's
So-
the only L he's taken in his life.
It's a W. The only L he is he's not up there with the roster right now.
That's true.
So maybe we'll see him play a few weeks from now, or maybe even this week. Let's talk about Onyx new
Oh,
generation
boy.
goal laner. Again, yeah,
Whoa.
stats 11 and 1, but 1 in terms of GPM in MPL ID season 15. What can you say about this stat, Arashi?
Means that he's efficient when it comes down to the farming patterns, right? And when it comes down to the early game, that also shows that he's kind of safe. Because if you can keep getting ganked and keep getting taken out, you can't really amass a high amount of gold that way. But looking at the kill department, number 1 to number 11, you're comparing him to the Red Raider right there. Still in BTR, by the way.
The Red Raider. Oh my goat, my glorious goat, now with his pink hair, not even red. But yeah, Savero, this is unfair to be fair, because Savero hasn't played all his matches. It's been
Yeah.
CW at the start, and then Savero joined in. So we have to see him, rack a few more kills. But to be fair, it has been very, like the way that they play with Savero has been weird. He hasn't been active. It's always Moskov in the side lane playing weak side and then split pushing.
And of course, for EVOS, they have first pick selection with 80% on first pick, which is blue side. That is a very, very high win percentage in terms of the blue side.
I feel like they're a team that really wants to have a say when it comes to the first pick, right? Kind of pressure their opponents. Because again, one of their big advantages right now, EVOs, is that they have experience on their side. Key and Albert, we've always talked about this, but they are very experienced players, literally veterans who have been in the game for a long, long time. So they have a lot of, they have quite a very impressive hero pool, along with ways to how to use them. So that is what EVOs can use here to kind of pressure their opponents and keep them guessing. And now with the patches introducing new variables, new factors in the drafting phase, I feel this is a good move by EVOs.
Yeah, that's what we're about to talk about as well, is the patch adjustments and the changes. Of course, a few jungle changes. I mean, Fanny is still respected to a certain degree by both GeekFam and Navi, but we saw the Suyo pop up. Do you think, Mirko, it's still viable for either Albert or Kyrie to pick it up?
Yeah, I think so. I think the Fredrin will be greater than the Suyo, will be better than the Suyo, especially when it comes to neutral objective takes. But it really depends on the user. We saw a Fredrin Suyo matchup and Make was able to win on the Suyo. So yeah, especially when you have like mid lane pokes, the mages will start to really impact that Suyo performance.
Of course, but now we are jumping into the drafting phase of match number 2, game number 1, EVOS against Onyx. And now we will see what are the bans coming in for both teams.
One of the big factors right here is also the gold lane. Let's remember that now that Erlan is up against Savero here, if Onyx wants to use Savero in a passive way, it's quite dangerous because Erlan is an aggressive gold laner that can take control of that lane, can try and zone him out, make sure that he misses farm, he's forced to recall, orchestrate dives as well. So they gotta be a bit more careful in this one.
For those of you at home who were able to see the bans, currently we have total of 5 heroes banned out. That's Noyi, the Phovius, and the Moskov taken away by EVOS. And for Onyx, they take out the Joy and the Chip, barring one more ban. So of course, good Moskov ban to deny Savero of that strong pick, because it's been very influential on the Moskov with the SODs, with the split push and the global presence he can really possess on that Moskov.
All right, yeah, interesting stuff here. Seeing the Moskov ban in the first phase, considering there have been some new picks that should be able to bully the Moskov, the Clint, the Natan as well, who's just been buffed. It's cool to see that it's still banned out. They just have that much respect for Onyx and their playstyle with Savero on the Moskov. Yi, final ban for Onyx. First pick here coming in. No way, yeah. It's still gonna be the Harith. First, they're thinking about it. They're still thinking about it. Look, they're canceling it out so many times. It looks like they will just stick to the Harith first pick. It has been nerfed, but it's not like a massive nerf that'll make the Harith useless.
Yeah.
It's still very, very viable. So there you go. Okay, there you go.
All right. First pick, Harith. Like you mentioned, if the hero isn't gutted, by all means, it's not as strong as it used to. I think one of the big factors is the animation of the Synchrovision now takes a bit longer. But by all means, it's still a hero with great laning, great sustainability, and good all-in with the Zaman force. Like we said earlier, it's going to be Erlan on that Harith. So Savero, Now with the Moskov, he needs to ensure that he picks something that he's comfortable with in the laning phase, because the Moskov usually allows you to trade and also disengage from fights. That option might not be possible any longer. And for Onyx, Chushin and Kaela, so going for a lot more of a brawly composition, but Evos with the Harith, I don't think has any issue with this.
Yeah, Kalia, of course, picked up on the Juicin as well. For EVOS now, they have 2 picks. I'm thinking of the matchup, though, for the Harith. And Onyx might just brew something to face against the Harith. Usually, you would go with the Granger, but again, the Granger has been... Yeah, it's a mix. It's a buff, it's a nerf. But what about Clint?
Yeah.
Against Harith.
The Clint has actually a really good lane against the Harith. The Clint should be able to win it out, especially now in the early game where Harith has kind of lost a lot of power. Again, that shielding really helped them win trades in the last patch. In this current patch with that shield being nerfed. Oh, there's a go for Fanny for Albert, even despite the nerfs Gatot Kacha. It doesn't seem like Evos have been phased by the drafts at all, by the patch at all. Hayabusa making his way into this game.
Let's go now. This is what I call a rumble in the jungle. Fanny against Hayabusa.
I mean, dude, there's gonna be a lot of moves there for sure. We talked earlier about the Fanny and how now it's only really viable in the hands of a select few. Is Albert one of those people? What do you think, Mirko? I think he has it in him, but...
Yeah, I don't think so, Rashi, unfortunately. No? I think, like, I don't know. His Fanny is very explosive, but once he uses that combo, it's done. Like, he's very win or lose kind of Fanny. He's not like not the Kyries, not the Rays, not the 5 Avians. And we do have a stat. He has already picked it once. It's sitting at a 0% win rate, unfortunately, for Mr. Man Albert. So, yeah. And also for Erlan, this Harith isn't really, like... I mean, well, actually, never mind. He's 100% win rate on the Harith previously, but because he's so comfortable on the Harith, could be a mistake picking it up because miscalculations can happen with the new patch.
Exactly.
Shielding problem as well, but I do think the Harith still survive a Hayabusa gang. You think so? I mean, the possibility of that will just brew even more because Hayabusa now has prior when it comes to picking up Juicin and Kalia. They have that freedom of movement when it comes to just playing to the goal lane.
So usually Evos,
There's the fact that there's a lot more mages available in the pool right now that can provide some good wave clear. And wave clear is the main thing you want against a Sushin. Wave clear and kite ability. That's why the Heat usually comes in handy, the Sicilians as well. So Evos can get something like that. And if the Sushin doesn't really have the lane plyo, the opposite happens, man. They can shut down this Hayabusa by ensuring that he's never having any backup in the roamer.
Looking at it here, it does look like Onyx is setting up for, again, a lot of kill pressure, a lot of just early game pickoffs. They picked up the Hayabusa, now they need some solid lanes. They need lanes that will actually win. Again, against the Harith, we did mention about the Clint. It's not the best choice against the Fanny. But it still can work. If you're really just looking for kill pressure, that should be enough kill pressure for the Hayabusa to capitalize on early.
Yeah. Beatrix banned out. Severo was able to pick it up once in Season 15, but that was a loss as well. 0% now sitting at that stat now, of course, for Onyx. Still yet to pick.
Fight for the ultimate.
They will pick up the Hilda. Okay, so this Hilda will definitely try to contain the Fanny, right?
Would definitely be used to try and stop the Fanny, be a problem for sure. And again, it's just like a safe pick. There's not a lot of heroes that can hard counter this Hilda. At the end of the day, even if you're a strong laner, all the Hilda has to do is regen it back up, clear the wave with 3 skills built into one on our second skill, and just roam around. Use that movement speed passive when you're running through the bushes. So it can really stop Evos' rotations in their tracks, unless, of course, they get a strong EXP laner can do damage and attempt to gank the Hilda multiple times, get her shut down immediately.
Oh, Dax is a perfect counter for 16.
Arashi, you're more of the Zas guy. Why Zas? And it didn't get touched at all.
No,
Dax is a pretty good counter for 16.
Either, right? Only Lightning Truncheon got right.
That's even if you go with the Lightning Truncheon.
Yeah.
Zest does not have to go Lightning Truncheon either. I believe this is a response to all the dive, all the aggression, because the Zest is actually very safe in a sense. When you're into the Dominor's Descent, you, first of all, aren't really easily burstable. You can cover a lot of distance. And of course, if everyone's clumping up like how it seems to be shaping up with the Hilda, with the Hayabusa, and the Chushin, a single will play stun and you win your team to team fight.
And technically, it is Suelo's signature pick from
Yes.
when he was in RBL. So there you go. Granger will be the
Great
next pick. So,
pick.
they don't have any lock. Tsunami Slam, I guess.
Kalea. And probably the lift off, but again, it has to telegraph time to wait for the enemy to get lifted up, but that's the picks coming in from both teams. Ranger against the Hereth, again, a classic matchup we have been seeing down in the gold lane. So it's just up to how they want to execute it. I mean, the Hilda is there to answer the Fanny, but for EVOS themselves, it feels like they're very confident in this pick, right? Again, comfortability, Suelo on a signature pick, and Albert on the Fanny.
Oh boy, I think it's gonna be aggressive for sure. Onyx is the one that has to kind of push the aggression, use the Sushin to kind of pressure everything, because later on, with Purifiers in the hands of Evos, then there's gonna be a lot of moments where that Tsunami Slam gets neutralized and Onyx are gonna be forced to play Evos this game instead.
White Tigers against the Sky Kings will be the closure of today. As we enter the land of Dawn, who will take game number 1? It is EVOS against Onyx.
Welcome to the Rumble in the jungle. The Tigers takes on the Porcupines. Ryota, Erlan. Ryota technically on a signature pick too on the Hilda.
Right. He picked it up, and I think it was his debut game as well, right?
Yep.
The Hilda.
Oh, the Hilda now running the Fury. Oh, hang on a second.
Oh.
We're gonna see more from the emblems later on. But in the early game, as you can see, I think Onyx are the ones that are going to be pressuring Evos for the most part. Evos, though, later on at level 4, level 5, once the ultimates start rolling in, they have the Zaman Force, the Avatar of the Guardian, Dominator's Descent. They have a lot of tools there to get ahead, but I don't know if they want to fight immediately at level 4. They might wait until the second turtle to try and make any aggressive moves. Looking at the emblems right here, actually, pull yourself together for Keyboy. As to be expected, he's the sole playmaker right now for the team. Everyone else, Free and Season Hunter for Albert, so trying to optimize the farming speed as well. For Erlan, running with the Inspire Bergen Hunter, so he's going to have good mana regen in there, have less cooldown for his spells as well. So expect a lot of trading attempts, which maybe Onyx can kind of predict, look into, and try and to punish with some ganks.
There's so many divers here, so many things to take care of. I'm really concerned about Onyx's way to shut down the Fanny. You can already see it up top. Key already looking for this dive. Severo, they'll flicker. But they will not commit onto it. They notice mid lane has been shoved in, and the Juicin already on Key. He doesn't have the flicker. He only has Revitalize. Now going back onto Keyboy. Gets away. Turtle spawning in 3 seconds.
Again, Cryo up in the gold lane for EVOS. They know the Stranger is very susceptible in the early game, and they can just punish that with the kill threat coming in from Albert, but Albert under pressure.
All right, Turtle gonna be taken down. The bottom side, Kyrie able to get it, but the purple buff stays in Albert's hands despite that invade from Sans and Keyboy.
Good presence of mind there for Albert. Not really panicking, just trying to get some harass back, get the buff, and get out. Like we said earlier, Evos have a fighting chance, but it's risky, right? They don't want to allow Onyx to get the snowball going. If you're up against a snowballing Chushin, Ranger, Hayabusa, so many ways for things to go wrong. Whereas for Evos, if they keep it standard, they kind of stay equal, there's a chance that they can pull off a great mid-game here.
On predictions for the new application GoPay, it's just me and Mr. Wawa, or Wawa, right at the Indonesian desk.
Yes, sir.
Going for
Keyboy.
Onyx.
Tsunami Slam, locking him down now. It's giving the cables. Albert able
Oh.
to blood on Keyboy. He's still surviving. Kyrie.
Oh.
My goodness gracious. The explosiveness of the Fanny. Suelo takes another.
Almost wiped out
Felt like
for
Fanny never
4-1.
got nerfed. That damage was disgusting.
I mean, when you clump up together like that, we already talked about the potential AoE combos. Onyx just handed it over to Evos on a silver platter, dude. Evos took everything. Suelo diving in as well with a Dominus Descent. The Keyboy trying to chase Erlan down now, but only a roam won't be able to do so. They have to avoid situations like that, dude. Evos has
Any damage was
disgusting.
crazy.
And the problem again, Arashi, only Kalea can lock Fanny down. So once he used the ult on Key of all people, that was just like, Albert got the jackpot on that one.
It's immediately a signal towards Evos to dive in. There's nothing threatening them any longer. And again, Albert is not the only person, the only member that can dive in. Later on, Erlan and Sway Low can do the same. So Onyx are gonna be forced to again ration out their sources of card control. They have to really use sounds right here and use this Lantern Flare to its maximum efficiency because that's the only other tool they have.
So then again, it's very telegraphed, right? It has that wind-up time to lift off someone. So
Look at the zone.
it's not a hard lock towards the Fanny. The Fanny can still just take out a way out of that Lantern to just run and avoid the lift off. But now, little fight happening soon. Ryota still there to zone out. Will EVOS or Onyx get this?
Great pull coming down. Turtle already there. Keyboard gonna lock it up as well. We'll be able to find a Tsunami Slam now. Oh, he tries to go on Albert. But gets the cables. Good purifier from Aaron as he dashes with some hot force. Keyboard
Keyboard
down
down.
by the Heron. Ryota caught in the Dominator's Ascent. Taken low. AOG.
Turtle.
Kyrie away.
Turtle
Evos
by
making all the
Evos.
dubs here.
Beautiful play by Evos there. Who cares about the 50-50? We want bodies, dude, immediately.
Oh.
You're able to get so
Oh,
much
God,
more
man.
value using the Nightmare Spawn. Onyx, without any real way to easily clear the Nightmare Spawn and not having the liberty to lose anything there, they just are forced to take the damage coming out of it.
3 महीना को ले देखो तो 1 महीना को ले मार्केट में
Why would he stay? Severo! He
हाँ
just took that. He
था
thought he
देना
could survive.
था देना
Albert
हाँ
making quick work out of
कर
Severo.
देना
Questionable decision
Upon
again
the
by
one-
Severo.
सीधा
Not backing towards the turret at any time as well.
अंकी बने
Oh, Shadow
अंकी
Kill.
बनेगा
Just to clear the waves. They're getting desperate. And the little Johnny boy is taking a
I would
turret
just-
shot, so they will have enough damage to take
अब
a turret
त्यस्तो
in the
केही
mid
छैन
lane.
रे
Kyrie saying
ऊ पनि
goodbye
थप्ने
to
कुरा
his
गरेन
purple.
यस्तै हो भने
Let's
थप्नु
grab that
पर्दैन
purple for Albert.
Dude, I was expecting Savero to back
Go-
up. So he
I
just
was
kept analyzing,
get the rocket.
and turns out he just came back in.
अब नजाने
Now
त
look at this, dude. When it comes to control,
Position.
because of the Nightmare Spawn, and because Onyx are falling behind, they can't clear it without losing a significant amount of HP. So now it's gonna go from bad to worse for them. Oh boy, they cannot afford to be giving any more
Oh,
to Evos.
yeah.
A 3K gold lead. They're already taking full control of this mid game because of that Fanny presence.
Maybe he thought he had Sans shadowing for him in that bush, but again, Fanny can just move so fast. And now, of course, Albert will try to push out the side lanes, and that is also another, plus
Nick
point
is
for the Fans
pressing.
when you pick it up. And the mid to the late game, it's very, very quick on clearing the side lanes, just putting that pressure.
Mid game
and
is
having Onyx to just
going
assign
so hard
someone
for
to deal with that. And now Turtle,
Onyx.
7 seconds, Albert has his way onto the bush. This might be another clash again.
Yikes.
Erlan also joining, rotating away from the gold lane. Evos know this is the big one, man. They're looking for
As
to
a
just start
top
that massive
end.
snowball and really take control over the game completely. Onyx have to respect this, man. I don't know what the right move is for them right now. They have to try and find the pickup initially, or go for some kind of flank first. Try and find Albert of all people.
They're conceding this. Savero is way too far. Kyrie looks disinterested in taking this turtle. He's gonna focus on his purple buff. It feels like EVOS, they will make the move. And Keys just there zoning out. Yeah, free turtle for EVOS yet again.
Free turtle
with
for
the objective
EVOS again.
for IO in their hands.
It's unfortunate for Onyx, but I feel like that might be the smart move there. It's only a turtle after all. They can kind of afford to let it go for now. They got some more gold in the hands of Savero. Trying to get some recovery there, even though they're 5K gold behind. But if you look at the numbers, man, almost 2K gold ahead.
Wow.
Erlan is just getting all the value, dude. He's so much further ahead.
He's so rich.
He is crazy rich Erlan with the Silent Sight and the
CRE.
Feather of Heaven on the way towards the Holy Crystal. Usually you'd see it being picked up by, minute 9 or even 8, and this is just going to speed up the process, considering the fact that EVOS is having a near flawless game so far in this game. And Keyboy, again, just looking for the zone again. He has to be able to lock down the Fanny. He has to be picky of when he will be using that Tsunami Slam, because if he uses it carelessly like this,
Shadow Kill, but really no kill threat. Dominator's Ascent used by Swaylo, and that's what Arachi was talking about. That is the survivability.
get out of jail free card, but of course a game fact by GoPay. The Zast pick marks the hero's first appearance in MPL ID Season 15 because, again, it was picked in MPL ID Season 14, mostly by Swaylo as well. A signature pick of his in Rebellion.
Yep. when you're up against a lot of dive, when you are you have to be annoying, this Zaz is just the right answer, and Sprelo understands how to use it so well. Sans is the mid laner, and he can't have enough damage, but look at Key. Whoa.
Picked up twice, has revitalized, will be able to tank it up again.
So Barrow can't
Oh,
take it down.
no.
He doesn't have the Sky Piercer yet, that's why. Went in for the hunch right now. Tsunami Slam, we're gonna key back all the way. It's gonna be Key taken down now. Albert still with the cables. Ryota taken down in a single bitch.
Again.
It's Keyboy in the back with the cables.
2 for 1.
2 for 1.
One.
Only Key fallen.
Oh boy, man, Albert on this Fanny. Again, this is a nerf Fanny. Where is the weakness we were expecting, man? We've seen so far in the season, the Fannies hasn't really been all that amazing. And just like that, Albert just burst through the scene. And you can see the difference in impact, dude. The damage,
There's no contest at all for the Lord fight. The Kibo is only 8 and 032.
Free Lord for EVOS. Onyx,
oh boy.
can't even contest, can't even enter their foot into the vicinity. And now, priority on EVOS, they can activate the side lanes, they can create that push to just, firstly, take away the holy defenses of the base.
Oh man, I can't believe it. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Arashi, the reason the Fanny hasn't been doing well in before today, before Albert picked it up today, is because usually teams have 2 at least members who can lock her down.
Yep.
Onyx, wow. I don't know.
This was a second pick Fanny,
Wow.
and they did not find any solutions, any badangs in the sort. I mean, it was banned by Evos in the second phase, but they really should have found something else right here. It's not wise to let Albert have his way, and he's really making Onyx pay for that decision. The purple buff is something that Kyrie hasn't seen in a long time, man.
It's a long-lost brother of his. And now, of course, it links back to Onyx and their problems in the draft. Again, we talked about Adi needing a supporting staff. Now that he has one, it feels like the solutions are still not there yet. At least
I think
in this
it's
game.
game over
Try to
for
siege into the base. Onyx, they still hold.
Onyx.
They have the poke from the Chusin and from the Ranger as well. So all is still good for Onyx, but they have to yet again defend.
Many waves coming down. AOG locking Sans all the way in the back. Has to come to Beacon, but Swaylo gets the Dominator's descent to lock him down. Sans out already. Savero trying to clear the wave in the mid lane. He goes together with Riona. Swaylo, 2-man stun.
Oh, Zax is
Albert was not there
going
to follow it up. He's
crazy.
in the mid lane clearing.
Zax
for
and Fanny.
another push into the mid lane.
One turret cracked up top. On the mid though, next on the chopping block, Onyx. They be able to defend this.
Albert with the cables, back and forth, just waiting for the angle to present itself. Ooh, Riona getting chunked down. Albert again with
I think
cables.
it's
Looking for the play
pretty
now.
hard to
Takes
defend.
Savero to a corner, forcing him to the fountain. Now, looking at bot, trying to go for another 3-way push with another mid lane coming in. Let's see.
Exploring heavy territory. And
I think it's hard to defend.
Oh, burst key up in front has the AOG. They'll be happy with 3 base turrets.
All 3 base towers taken down. Brute force, by the way. There was no force error. There was no 3-wave push, no macro play. It's Evos just bringing the fight to Onyx and saying, come on, in your own base, we'll take you. And look at the items, the item difference at this point. Albert going with the Antique Cuirass, by the way, after going for the War Axe and the Malefic Roar. So even now, in a 1v1 situation, even if Onyx do find ways to get to him, he has so much more of an easy time itemizing, because the only real magic damage threat is Sans, and it's never really a burst type of threat. So as long as Evos have a good deal of physical defense, they're kind of good to go.
And you know, Arashi, realize
There is no contest at all.
but we can't criticize Adi. Maybe that's just his ninja way.
Yeah, he wants to go for the Hayabusa because it's this ninja way as well.
Ninja
Look at
way.
Kito. Keyboy looking for the play. Albert gonna be locked down by the Tsunami Slam now. Shadow kill. Albert still able to sky.
Still they got.
What? This fight, the all-in
Still, still, that's the game over for Onyx.
Terrestrial being, the baby alien descends onto the land of dawn.
That's
They will end this game.
game over for Fanny.
Getting another Sombrero in the base. Sold away in his zone. Fountain 13 minutes. Evos 1-0.
Was a great game.
Insanity.
Great counter pick for
Albert,
EVOS.
no bless. What was that Fanny game? It was insane.
Fanny Jacks was
speechless. 1-0 for EVOS.
Oh boy, what was that, dude? That final Lord fight. I don't know, that has to be demoralizing if you're an Onyx perspective. They jumped and used everything for a Hail Mary play. They identified that as long as they don't get Albert, that's the only play they had. The one member, the one carry without the Purify. They try and get him. He bought time, he still got the Lord, he got out. That's ridiculous, dude. I have no words. Like, how else? What more do you say? What? That's his ninja way, man.
He has to sync different things that he has to do. Number one, he had to escape, obviously. Number two, he had to pin down the retreat, and that he did as well. Get the Lord for himself. This is a statement from Albert.
XRRQ, by the way.
Hey,
Oh boy.
are we playing X's now? Because I hate my X's.
Hey, Key. Oh, wow. Hey, Key. Oh, wow. That went real deep. Oh, man, that went personal. Okay. BTR. Key, by the way, I just want to say.
Yeah, we're,
Friends sitting on the bench right now. But, wow, bro.
so, it's
it was a great game from EVOS.
I voted for
I'm alone.
and there's Onyx, so hey.
I mean, it
how you
shows that
feeling?
Onyx has
I think it's
longevity.
XRQ, by the way.
That's
Oh, you're
true.
right.
XRQ, by the way.
It is what it is.
This is unfair,
Oh,
but yeah,
man.
of course. Again, it feels like the two nerfed heroes that has been picked today. Number one was Ranger, picked up by Chidera. It wasn't really showing the flaws of the nerf. And number two was Fanny. We talked about how this hero was hard, like it was badly nerfed and still able to deliver for Albert.
I think it's the fact that we haven't seen good performances on it, and then it got kind of nerfed. I don't know if the nerf was horrible, but clearly if you can perform like this, if it can still be this big of a threat, I don't think you can consider the hero unplayable just yet.
Wow, and of course the man on your screen, the baby alien. It is, of course, Albert, 5-1 and 6. But that performance speaks for itself.
The extraterrestrial tiger, dude.
I'll be honest with you, man. I mean, like, obviously, Albert, amazing game. Don't want to take anything away from him, but it's going to be really hard to defend Adi on this one, on this draft.
It's really tough to understand what the idea was. Again, like you mentioned, Imirko, there was nothing to really threaten Albert at all. And even before we talk about the draft phase, even the execution, right? Like what Severo's decision was there, and also how Panic were fighting, right? We talked about how the AoE is just too much to handle, but they keep fighting in those enclosed spaces all the way from the beginning. And afterwards, it's a bit too late. They were 10k gold ahead at 10 minutes, by the way, EVOs.
It was the time
Quite such a beating.
for them to
Oh man, that moment was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. Out of his goddamn mind. That's Albert, of course, the player of the game as well. And then was very swift as well, EVOS. I mean, everyone played a very, very good game. Asuelo, he did his job, surviving as long as he could, poking for the team. Natko, just doing Natko things. He's the GOAT. We don't need to talk about him. He knows what he's doing. We all know what he's doing. And Key with the engages as well, just peeling for the whole team. Again, the problem was the lockdown. They had little to no lockdown, only the Tsunami Slam and the Kalia. We talked about Jujutsu, maybe, possibly just lifting away the Fanny. But again, so telegraphed. The Lantern Flare needs a wind-up time.
And there's also the biggest problem, I feel, as well. A problem we've seen again and again. You pick Kalia, and you don't have a lot of burst damage, technically. So we saw Keyboy try and make plays. In the end, he couldn't find anyone. He was forced to go on Key. And what happened? Key survives, right? When your mid lane is a Tushin, when your jungler is a Hayabusa, you know, there's not a lot of burst damage there. I mean, technically, Hayabusa is burst damage, but it's incremental. It's slow. And the Kalia doesn't survive long enough. When you take that long to secure the kill, the Kalia becomes the victim.
That's true.
Yikes. Just yikes, honestly.
A lot of questions, of course.
Yikes on so many levels.
No, the thing is, to be fair, both these teams drafted like the patch didn't come out. To be fair, it really feels like the old patch, but what was the vision for Onyx? Like, was it just to get mid prio and then invade with Ryota? Because the Haya isn't really that guy, right? Like, he's not that invade type early, because Fanny actually clears a bit faster. I don't see the vision, man.
I think taking neutral zones was what Onyx really wanted to do. Again, that has been their playstyle ever since Yoda was inserted into the team. He was very aggressive in just taking away space for his team. Again, with the Hilda, with the glue, anything, you mention it. But now then they had the Hayabusa, and with minimum lockdown, they had to face a Fanny. It spelled trouble for them, and it's big time trouble for Onyx.
Yeah, so talking about the drafts, we talk about the execution as well. I feel like there's just so many things they have to kind of ironed out almost instantly, because you know, second game is upcoming right now. You can bet that Onyx are definitely in review mode immediately. Like, what went wrong there? And we've highlighted that there's so many different oversights all the way from the execution, the team fights, and even in the drafting phase. So in a moment like this, it gets difficult, because if you're in the coaching staff for Onyx, which do you blame, right? Is it the drafts? If the drafts are actually okay, it's just the team that can't execute, that's a whole different thing. But you have to decide on what exactly is the real reason, the core reason why they weren't doing so well.
Wow. By the way, Arashi,
Yes?
I think we have our M watch for next week.
Oh,
That play by Albert.
yeah.
I think you studied that. You're gonna highlight that.
Or just
I
highlight the
thought-
draft, Tarashi.
Or the draft.
The drafts? Sure, I'll take notes. I'll take
What
notes.
not to do.
Nah, that draft was fraud watch, bro.
Oh, that's from an Onyx fan, by the way. Oh my.
I'm very,
It's
very
your,
sad.
it's your boy, man.
sad.
Come on.
They're all my boys.
So I think I'm gonna stick with my prediction.
But it's okay.
Same,
It shows that I'm not a plastic fan, and I'll stick by my Sky Kings, whatever happens.
My Sky Kings.
My Sky Kings. I'm a Sky peasant, by the way.
You're a Sky peasant?
Yeah.
Realize the
You're
loyal.
a Sonic. You're a Sobot. You're a Sky friend.
I think the second game
Sky friend.
Sky
Sky
friend.
friend.
will be for Onyx for
mean,
sure.
Again, it feels like EVOS didn't really draft to rely on the Fanny, but the Fanny was so explosive.
Yeah, I don't know. It really feels like, because again, the first moment where Albert kind of popped off was at about like level 5 or something. How is it that when other players have played the Fanny, it just doesn't seem all that dangerous? He just made it do so much more damage
Dude,
somehow.
He's very explosive. I'm telling you, he's very explosive. So he uses the cables in a way where it's, to be fair, not efficient, but it does a ton of damage when it lands.
Right.
That's why he's kind of like, he needs to go in, gets a kill, and then backs away. Or he gets nothing. In all the scenarios earlier, he got what he wanted.
True. Wait. Even in level, when he went for that level 4 dive, technically
In the
on
mid.
on the no golden, I believe, was it?
No, that was not level 4.
Level 3 was it?
That was like, I think, right after Turtle.
I think it was before.
Towards Avero.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
one on Severo.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's true. He didn't stick around. He just came in, output all the damage.
Bounce.
Oh, didn't get the kill. Doesn't matter. Pieces out.
Oh, that was, the
Yeah.
first level 4. You're talking about the first ever gang. on
Yes,
Severo.
yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's exactly what you're saying there. He just comes in, does what he wants to, and then leaves, regardless of the result. And in a sense, that's a efficient way of doing it, I think.
Yeah, and it feels like it's a coin flip. Somehow you gotta kind of gamble on that play style. If the Fanny does not deal a lot of damage, then you're basically done. You lose your Fanny. You need to back up as well. So yeah, Onyx down 0-1. I mean, there's still a game number 2. It's a best of 3 anyway. So I'm pretty sure Onyx will bounce back. But of course, we want to take a look at what Eterna has to say in the side of the court, or rather the arena. Eterna, what do you have to say?
Thank you so much, casters. Aku di sini di MPL Arena sama
Natse.
Natse. How are you, Natse?
I'm good.
Oke, dia
Menang
baik ya,
ya,
guys.
soalnya.
Iya. Gimana? Jadi katanya Natse mau cerita sesuatu yang comeback nih.
Lagi banyak yang comeback kebetulan nih, Kak. Ada apa? Ada Brands.
Connect.
Selain itu, pasti juga ada emot yang paling ngeselin, yaitu emot kelas.
Gimana
Sudah
sih emotnya?
comeback.
Emotnya gimana sih?
Emotnya kelas.
gitu.
Lucu banget.
Lucu. Cara belinya gimana sih emotnya?
Cara beli gampang banget, cukup ke shop MLBB dan dengan 100 diamond aja kalian udah bisa pakai emot kelas.
Ih, murah banget ya?
Murah
Beneran 100 diamond doang?
Langsung beli gak sih?
Aku udah punya.
Oh, udah punya?
Aku udah punya kebetulan. Aku udah punya.
Oh, keren banget.
Soalnya aku juga denger-denger untuk yang udah punya emot kelas, itu ada kejutan. Bener gak sih?
Iya, betul banget. Jadi Minroar tuh lagi ngadain challenge momen terkelas. Caranya kalian bisa pakai emot kelas pas lagi mabar atau partian sama teman-teman. Terus bikin konten yang paling keren, lalu upload di Instastory kalian dengan highlight yang ada di Instagram EVOS Esports. Nah, buat fans yang menang bisa dapetin skin epic gratis dari Minron.
Skin epic gratis. Ya, ini beneran. Wah, ya udah guys, langsung aja beli ya untuk bisa mendapatkan skin epic gratis karena kapan lagi?
Iya, kapan lagi
Daripada
kan?
ngemis-ngemis, Kak, aku minta skin dong, Kak.
Bener
minta
banget,
skin
banyak
dong."
banget yang sering message gitu ya kayak minta skin dong gitu.
Iya, nah itu dia dapat cara dapat skin kan.
Tuh, tadi kan.
Oke, that's so cool, kelas. Terus kalau misalkan itu berarti kalau aku tiba-tiba bisa buy one in Fanny, pakai Angela, aku pakai stiker kelas, itu juga bisa masuk.
Bisa.
Bisa ya?
Bisa dong.
Oke, cool.
Pokoknya yang keren aja. Yang
Ditunggu
keren.
ya. Kalau yang agak nggak gitu keren gitu bisa juga nggak?
Enggak
Kayak
sih,
misalkan
ya mungkin
kayak
nggak
blunder
menang.
gitu,
Oh, blunder
nggak bisa ya?
justru itu yang kita cari ya.
Oh justru yang dicari
Kita
blundernya
suka
ya?
yang blunder-blunder sih.
Oke kalau gitu, kan kita lihat sekarang EVOS udah 1-0 nih.
Ya,
2-0
Abis
atau
ini 2-0
gimana
lah.
nih? 2-0.
2-0.
100% ya? 2-0 ya?
200%.
200%. Kalau salah gimana? Ada challenge nggak?
Challenge.
Challenge-nya, hah?
Nggak bercanda.
Ini beneran nggak sih? Challenge botak guys, aku yang panik.
Enggak dong. Tapi 2-0 lah, aman aja.
Oke, dia udah sangat
Ya, easy.
easy. Wah guys, itu dia udah confident banget ya.
Ya dong, harus.
Oke kalau gitu, ada mungkin message yang mau disampaikan kepada EVOS yang lagi berjuang untuk mendapatkan 2-0 itu?
Ya, pokoknya tetap semangat. Easy kill, bro.
Anjay. Oke, thank you so much Natsu. Kita akan langsung kembali ke para casters untuk game yang kedua. Kita akan melihat apakah 2-0, apakah dia akan botak. Kita akan saksikan. Let's go.
Thank you, Eterna, and that was Nadse. I don't know how to pronounce her name.
Nadse.
One of EVOS's talent, and she said easy kill. It's
Very easy?
It's easy.
Oh.
So he thinks that, she thinks rather that Onyx did not retaliate,
I agree.
but they did not retaliate.
They sure didn't.
They
The
couldn't.
tail of the tape tells us as much as well.
Well, I mean,
Stompy stomp.
what does Onyx has to do, by the way, in game number 2? Before that, though, what do you have to do, Arashi?
What do I have to
What do
do?
you have to do, Onyx? I was about to say Mirko. I said Onyx.
I am not Onyx.
You're Onyx.
I am.
Your pin is yellowish, so
That's
our
MPL, sir.
our
Ah,
pins are
that's true.
all.
Well, you know, I just want to tell you guys a little
Yeah.
bit about my phone.
sure thing.
This is my new phone. Are you guys part of the awesome generation?
I am. I'm
Well,
awesome.
If you guys are, then if you want to play games with auto win streaks and smooth performance all day, there's something new from the Galaxy A Series 5G. Introducing the Samsung Galaxy A36 5G, equipped with a Snapdragon 6 Gen 3 processor and up to 20 gigabytes of RAM. With up to 256 gigabytes of storage, play games without lag. Say goodbye to that, thanks to the 120 hertz screen. There
Wow,
you go.
120
Super
hertz.
AMOLED, by the way.
Super AMOLED as well, by the way, but you already knew that. Plus, charging doesn't take long with 45-watt fast charging. You guys can get playing and then get to your games, get to charging again in no time.
Don't play while charging. So, of course, the very, very quick charging feature is there on this phone. But of course, the gaming content can also be more awesome. The 50
awesome.
megapixels camera with OIS on the Galaxy A36 5G. Plus, there's the awesome Intelligence My Filter feature, so you can create your own awesome filters. And with Circle to Search, finding gaming items is easier. Just circle it. And by the way, CTS, or Circle to Search, is one of my favorite features in this phone because if you see a picture and you want to find out something, all you need to do is just circle it. For example,
I'll do it.
Mirko will take a picture of the products here on the table. He's gonna circle it, and it just shows up. As
AI knows, bro.
AI. It's called intelligence for a reason.
If you're interested, while we're waiting for Mirko to demonstrate, head over to Samsung.com/ID or the nearest Samsung store to get the Galaxy A36 5G, starting from around 5 million rupiah, and get awesome bonuses worth over 1.1 million. So you're kind of getting value. It becomes about only 4 million until April 27th. So
Wow.
not so long at all. So get to it immediately and get to the Team Galaxy zone
Yeah.
right here.
This is the unspoken privilege and benefits of having
it
a
is very
Samsung
spoken.
phone.
It's pretty spoken,
It's
but,
pretty spoken, bro.
but if you guys don't know,
Yeah, if
by
you
the way,
guys don't know
I don't know
about
if you guys can see it, but I circled Head and Shoulders and Good Day, and it's found Head and Shoulders and Good Day. I gotta.
Wow, that's very, very high tech and advanced. But of course, now that you have your phone, you gotta fill it up with applications. One of the applications you
GoPay?
have is GoPay. And with GoPay, you can join the MPL GG, or Good Game Party, by voting for your favorite team in every MPL ID Season 15 match at gopay.co.id
what do I do?
/games. You can just click on GoPay,
Okay.
right? And then you could go to where you can find the MPL GG Party, and you can vote
Alright.
for your favorite teams right there. Yeah, just right there. Or you could go to gopay.co.id /games. You can win guaranteed rewards. Your first vote, you'll definitely get 3 diamonds and 1 token. Hey, 3 diamonds is not much, but when you do
Stack it up.
stack it up, you know, it's going to be 3,456 diamonds.
Whoa, that's a quick.
That's a lot of days, but yes,
Yeah.
you can continue to do that, and you can win GoPay coins, MLBB skins, smartphones, or Arashi's favorite, his electric motorcycle.
Electric motorcycle. Are you gonna drive that to Bandung?
To Bandung.
Yeah,
It's
That's
a bit,
up.
takes 2 hours.
That's a bit too far, bro.
Bit too far.
Bit too
Bit
far.
too far. It takes 2 hours.
Not with a bike, bro. Not with a.
That's true.
Not with an electric
With a-
scooter, bro.
I think you might lose out on your battery might be drained.
That's true. And he has to take the highway as
I
well.
don't think you even reach half.
Yeah, no.
It really depends on the range on the electric motorcycle.
And by
but-
the way, we're talking about
a lot.
electric motorcycles. We need to know how to win that.
Okay.
And of course, the way is very easy. You can go to gopay.co.id /games, or you can open the GoPay app and select the top up game icon.
Okay.
Number 2 is you can click the trophy icon in the top right corner.
Okay.
You can click vote now to
vote
get a
now.
token.
Okay.
Number 4.
Number
Click
4.
vote for your champion and enter the winning team and final match score.
And then?
And number 5, lastly, collect as many tokens as possible by playing Vote Your Champion and spin wheels in the gift arena right here in MPL Arena to win your dream prizes.
As easy as that. Go ahead and check it out, boys, because Onyx. They're back on
Wow.
blue side now.
Blue
They
side.
have taken blue, and they have done better on blue Evos. They're on red.
Red.
Let's see if they can get the lead, the advantages that they had in game number 1.
Yeah.
Are
You
you suggesting that Clint should be picked?
Oh, that might be the case, partner.
Clint
When you
is the
got
answer.
when you got the sheriff in the game, it's a whole different story.
It's a different story.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw, indeed.
But
all right.
the surprise
All right,
is
Matthew McConaughey.
the surprise is Clint hasn't been that prio. I think, is it still going to be situational? Is it not going to be, you know, it's a blind pick, it's a first pick?
That's an interesting question. Realize, yeah. Miko, as our token gold laner,
Yes.
gold lane expert here, is it strong enough to be
Blind picked.
blind picked into anything, or is it still very situational? Because I
It's
think
situational.
in the gold lane, right, it's not only about the lane, it's about later on in
The ganks.
in the rest of the game with the ganks and all that,
Yeah.
can you still be effective? So there's a lot of layers there, which is why usually we see that the gold laners are a bit more flexible, like the Moskov. You can kind of trade, you can self-peel, you can do macro. Harith, you have good poke, good laning, a good team fight, and technically good gank escapability with the Zaman Force as well. You need heroes that can kind of cover a lot of bases, whereas the Clint is a bit more wide-dimensional. So I'm not sure how he kind of fits into the meta puzzle right now.
I have a new word for that.
What's up?
Surviving a gank. Do you know what that word is?
What?
Gank proof.
Gank proof.
So
Yeah.
Harith is gank proof.
Harith? Yeah,
Implies he
kind
cannot be
of
ganked.
proof. Maybe. But yeah, the Clint, it's situational, Rashi.
Gank resistant.
Gank resistant. Alright.
Harith banned away, by the way, so there you go. Respect from Evos. But yes, Clint is situational. It really depends if you have the right composition to make it work. Because Clint relies heavily on the early snowball.
Right.
You need to win out the lane. So if you do get like assassins and maybe like a jawhead early on and you're looking to just play for early game, then Clint makes a lot of sense. That's why I thought that's what Onyx wanted to do. Maybe they beat the Fanny by just out-damaging the Fanny by winning the early game. But they ended up picking Granger. That's not really an early, it's more like a mid-game pick than an early game pick, so yeah.
I mean, shutting down the Fanny early on would be the answer, but they did the opposite of that. What they wanted to do was just fight. And the Fanny was like, okay, we'll fight, and was able to dish out so much damage, by the way.
Insane amount of damage for sure. Now,
Fredrin
Onyx,
banned.
though, with the respect towards the Fredrin, is that a sign that they themselves want to go for the assassins, right? This assassin is really a really big, I don't know, solution to mobility, right? Can lock people down so much, even more so now, by the way. So that's something that EVOS can definitely start thinking about. With the fact that Onyx has banned with the Lucas and the Fredrin, right? It has to be some kind of vulnerable assassin jungler.
Yeah. And of course now, last ban for EVOS. They can still take out maybe the Luo Yi if they want to try to diminish and just close out that global presence. Or maybe the Chip as well as possible, but they take out the Chusin. So, rather, Chip is banned already by Onyx, and now Onyx might just take the Luo Yi, but they will take the Joy. By the way, an untouched jungler in the previous patch, or rather this patch, did not go through any nerfs or buffs.
Right. We highlighted this potential in the previous match. The fact that the Suyo already doesn't do well against the Joy. So now, without the magical damage resistance, even more so in theory. EVOS with the Kalia Granger early on. Not really showing their full hand here. This can still be pivoted towards a poke composition or a pick-off or even front-to-back composition. So there's still options they can play around with right here. Onyx, though, is this time for the Moskov, the signature Moskov, while it's still available.
Yeah, Persevero as well. I mean, it's a very, very strong pick for his, considering the fact that he had a very, very questionable Granger game in game number 1. But again, the main point of Kalia as well, it's still able to be flexed into the XP or into the roam. They will take the Erythel again, and the Hilda as well. The Erythel against the Granger, of course, is a natural counter to it. It's very hard to hit the Erythel when it's on that ultimate, the heavy crossbow, so yeah, the Granger will have a hard time.
You gotta remember what part of the Granger got nerfed. It's the dashes. So Erythel, the reason Erythel beats the Granger is because of the mobility advantage. You can just run him down. So even more so now, and EVOS go for the Suyo. Yes, the Suyo is not bad right now, but against the Joy, remember last patch even, the guy already kind of struggled against Joy 1v1. Now, he doesn't have any damage reduction to magic anymore. That immortal form of his, it went from it went from pure damage reduction to physical damage reduction. Oh man, I don't know about this. EVOS, they're playing with fire. They're playing to just win out the Red Tree battle and then snowball against the Joy.
Yeah, I mean, in a 1v1 straight out, the Joy does have the upper hand with so much damage as well, right? Internally by Joy, but now, of course, the second phase of the bans, the Yve taken out. 3 more bans for both teams.
Yve banned out. I mean, interesting. Again, I do wonder if the whole idea is that they're going to have a full-on dive composition. If that's the case, Onyx needs to be very careful of the potential engage tools, the badangs, anything that can kind of keep them in place for the full-on assault coming in from the side of EVOS will be a problem for sure. Aside from that, though, again, the Suyo definitely is a bold move here. You do wonder if Albert's just trying to say that, okay, the facts aren't really in my favor, but who cares? It's a skill issue. It's all in the mental department.
Oh man, all right. Yve gonna be banned out by EVOS, again, knowing that this is a big problem for the Suyo. The pokes, the magic damage pokers will get even better for this against the Suyo, and that has been something that Onyx have relied on a lot. Like it's Yve, Sicilian, it's poke damage. That's why it'll do great for them if they are up against Suyo. That's why they banned the Fredrin, by the way, right? The Fredrin would be the natural pick against the Joy.
That's true. And now without the Fredrin, I mean, Suyo does have to be put into such a susceptible position when it comes to taking away the objectives. Sure, he does have the upper hand in terms of the Retribution battle. He has the Soul Sever. He has that Retri, advantage as well. But in a 1v1 and that clear speed, when it comes to the invasions towards the jungle, the Suyo will surely struggle. And now the Luo Yi taken out. What will Onyx ban?
Again, I'm wondering if they're considering something more for Natco to shut him down even more. This is the problem here. Natco hasn't been in the EXP lane, right? So it's kind of a bit of a wild card.
It's hard.
And while they're worrying about the potential engage tools from Natco, there's a chance that they can move the Kalia into the EXP lane and pick up something like a Tigreal or something. And El Momento likes the big moments there. So a lot of options available for EVOS, and a lot of questions that Onyx are forced to consider because they just don't know.
Yeah, you need someone to catch the Joy, right? And Tigreal
Farsa.
Might be that answer. The Farsa ban for Onyx. Interesting ban. I mean, they're probably scared of the Granger Farsa combo, right? That poke is insane. You have so much reach to catch the Joy as well, and that's why they take it out. But again, now cards on Onyx. They remember they still are able to flex this Kalia onto the XP, and they might just pick up maybe a Tigreal to stop this Joy. And again, like you said, key El Momento.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if Evos are like, you know what? There's the Irithel, there's the Joy, there's the Hilda. When you're a mage and you're afraid of all the dives, what's a good solution? Hey, the Zask worked great in the previous game. I wonder if they're willing to double down and go for it again. As you say, that the Hylas comes through. Not what we're expecting, not big a moment, but it also allows Evos to chase well against a Hilda that wants to run around, against an Irithel that wants to run around as well. So that might not be the worst option here when it comes down to catch potential.
We're on a marathon today, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we have the Hylos, the Irithel, the Hilda. Everyone wants to run with their running shoes. And now Natko, or rather, one last pick for Evos to conclude the draft. CC and Valentina picked up. Is the Hilda alone enough to stop the damage from Evos?
Oh, I think so.
In the early game at least, but you know, if they don't control the game, if Evos start snowballing, the Hilda will not be able to solo tank all this damage, dude. Especially again with the Suyo, you have to remember, the more HP you have, the more you can get muted when you're low, and the Zask comes through again! I love it!
But this time, it's up against Valen. Valen can take away the ultimate, right? Like, he can... So, I think Onyx, this time, it's not horrible for them. They have pretty good ways to actually deal with what Evos have brought to the table.
I would say, though, right now, the composition-wise, I feel like the Zask Domineer's Descent is going to be a lot more troublesome, a lot more annoying to deal with for Onyx, rather than Evos, right? Depending on how they play this game out. So, even if it gets stolen, might not be the worst of situations, but again, we'll have to wait and see, right? Can Sans actually be creative enough to actually use all these tools available from the side of Evos against themselves?
And of course, into the land of Dawn we go. Will Onyx again falter and dive deeper into the rankings and the standings, or will Evos be the ones to play a game number 3? It is game number 2 of Evos against Onyx.
Wait, with the CC pick, that means the Hilda's going roam.
Yeah.
This is the first time in MPL Indonesia Season 15 that we've seen a Hilda roam, so... They have lockdown? Do they have any lockdown?
Nope, I don't think so. It's only maybe Keyboy jumping in. The part of the wilderness.
They don't have CC.
They don't.
They don't.
They have CC.
Yes,
They have CC. Oh, that. Oh, that.
Yeah,
They have
that's
no
true.
crowd control, so they figured that the
Adi's
name,
ninja way.
the name CC will be enough. Better than
Deceiving.
nothing. Looking at the emblems right here, tankiness for sure for the frontliners. First and nasty for Key. And oh! Look at you miss him. What?
Solo kill Ryota. No vengeance used by Ryota. Oh no, you hear the bells too.
What happened there? Wow. Before talking about on a team level, individually, Evos are out-pressing Onyx, a team that used to be known for the individual playmaking. Oh boy, what is going on, dude?
This is Natko's first XP match. He was a mid lane. Before this, he was a gold lane.
Oh, Albert trying to give damage.
Oh.
Magic damage. Tear through him, Key. Not able to escape glorious pathway from Sans and Onyx. Oh. Now diving on Sway low, so able to flicker out. No, Dominator sends Sans. Walks up one basic attack. That's 3-2-1 in the scoreboard.
There you go, Sway low, no DD. Erlan 1v1.
Almost getting that dub. Will just take the dub in the trade, forcing Savero to recall.
Of course, a very miss a couple of minutes here, but pretty well. So that's a win for Erlan. But in the mid-trio, right, Onyx showing that they have an advantage there, especially in the early game with the base damage, with the fact that the Valentina has a bit of an overloaded kit. Well, we're gonna see if Evil's gonna try and fight this.
No curtain call already. Riota's already used it. Here's Sans trying to poke Albert down. He's trying to play with the space now. Natko walking up, Tsunami Slam coming down. Only onto Keyboy. Now it's gonna be down. No damage descent just yet. Kyrie diving. Natko still able to survive for a bit, but Kai gets the kill.
Kyrie again, just running around, becoming such a menace towards EVOS. EVOS alone, they only can rely on Natko with the Tsunami Slam, and it was used on Keyboy, so Kyrie had the agency to just move freely, untouched, undeterred.
Yeah, not ideal
Free total.
here for EVOs. Already giving 4 kills over to Onyx. So Onyx, with the advantage here, they can, you know, kind of be so aggressive. Whoa!
Tsunami Slam into Savero with a heavy crossbow. Suns taking a kill. He dealing some damage. Good shot. But now it's Kai getting all the stacks necessary over to Key. Won't use electrifying beats. Albert walks up just a poke.
I think we asked what the lockdown was, and probably it's going to be Sans with the IMU, just constantly stealing the Tsunami Slam, and that is a big if as well. I mean, sure, he could still actively steal that, and now he has 2 options in his cards. Does he steal the DD, or does he steal the Tsunami Slam?
Or the Glorious Pathway.
Glorious Pathway as well.
Right. Again, it all depends on Onyx actually being ahead, right? If they need damage, I mean, if they want to play without crowd control like this, then they need the damage, right? And more than that, they need EVOs to oblige them and trade with them like this. Look at this. Whoa, Natko.
Just going to dish out some damage, and Keyboy is still tanky, so he will surely survive. 1 minute towards the next turtle, and the goal laner still going at it.
Hello.
Needs to be active with the Hilda.
घरमै हो
Trying to give space for his teammates.
खै बाई आएको छैन
So quick.
निस्किदिनु यहाँ घरमा कोही छैन कोही छैन चुकुलै काछ अहिले ननिस्क्नु पछि निस्क्नु नभए निस्क्नु कल गर्छु म निस्क्यो भने कल गर्छु अहिले चाहिँ ननिस्क्नु अहिले चाहिँ ननिस्क्नु ननिस्क्यो मैले ल अहिले कल गरौँ
Already has the Has Claw, so the sustain is actually allowing him to trade evenly, sustain back up. Now it's tough for Evos, man. They need to find more ways, more damage here, because otherwise Keyboy is doing a great job just being the distraction, the damage sponge, because Evos don't have enough to actually force him to use anything to kind of zone out. Oh, it's Severo. Gets away with a heavy crossbow. Has the Purify still. Wants to go for the steal. Oh, Security got that. But it's Kai on the turtle. 2 turtles to Onyx.
2 free turtle
Play with the ultimate, but stolen like this. A Tsunami Slam on his hands could prove to be lethal, and that will be the lockdown that they need. But again, it's a one and done type of situation where if it is really used on the tanky members, then you know Albert can just chime in, or Erlan can just jump in as well. So this is going to be very, very calculated by Onyx.
But the Sky Piercer, you know, it's a stacking item. You buy it to snowball even harder, and they're not really snowballing. Key taking a lot of damage.
Severo walking up, heavy crossbow. Key taken down. The Spider revitalized, and now Onyx wants to collapse up top. Erlan's gotta concede this turret. Dashes forward. Keyboy wanting to put that axe on Mr. Erlan, but they will just take the turret. Turtle 3 spawning in the game. Albert the trade. Ryota walks down, so Albert's got to leave.
Man, it feels like both teams are playing the same way. They're just sending out their tankiest roller, Keyboy and Key. Just to zone each other out, and the
3-2-0 straight low.
Over 3 for Onyx. In terms of the turtle, they're able to take most turtles uncontested because of how much priority Onyx has. Yeah, reinforcement of the lanes. 1v1.
Oh, that's what we're talking about. We're running away. Let's fight.